That's the countdown right there.
The
That's the countdown.
Oh, wait. Cool.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Sorry.
All right. So what's going on as you start to join us? Just want to say good morning. Typically what we do on Thursdays is we get the whole crew together, and there's not another station that does this where the entire cast gets together. Now I'm saying the entire cast, but we are missing Slater.
Slater had an appointment, which we always said, hey, if one of us can't make it on a Thursday because we got stuff going on, those of us that can will join.
Okay. And then we've got Scotty, fresh face. How are you, sir?
First time getting to be on the show. Like, this is cool. This
Fresh
is so
face,
official.
literally and figuratively.
Literally. Yes, exactly. But this is really cool. Like, that countdown had me hyped up as I was listening to the beat. I was over here bopping, trying to get myself going. So I like it. I'm honored to even like be chatting with y'all over the screen.
Well, good stuff, man.
Scotty's a part of our team and does nights, but Scotty, I feel like this isn't an offensive question, because when people are still young, it's not offensive when you ask how old you are. Because how old are you? Because you always have so much energy that I'm so envious of.
I'm 24. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So I have no offense to it. Yeah. The fresh
Because
24.
you wake us up earlier than we do.
Oh, well, yeah.
She means me. Some of us is me.
Oh,
No, and me. What time do you get up?
well, it depends. Like, my schedule's really messed up right now, where it's like sometimes it's 3, sometimes it's 4. It just depends on what I'm doing the late night. Because usually it's just, very late nights, and then trying to get up really early. So if I can manage it, 3:30.
Okay, 3:30. Yeah, that's
before you.
I mean, that's the time. No, my alarm
3:50?
goes off at 2:50.
2:50?
2:50 in the morning.
Why
In the
though?
shower.
There's no
She did a
reason.
poll. She did a poll on her Instagram the other day. It was like, who wakes up after like 6 a.m. and then also who gets more than 5 hours of sleep. And then she's like, oh, this many people said that they wake up after 6 and get more than 5 hours. Are your bosses hiring? And I wanted to be like, my boss is your boss. My boss is your boss. And yes,
There's a lot of people that wake up after 6.
All right, so the reintroduction again is we do this every Thursday where we afford our listeners here. And Scotty, thank you so much for joining us. This is a really cool time for everybody to kind of get to see our faces and get to really dive into some of the conversations that we have on air. But like Scotty knows, we've only got so much time. We've only got so much time to say certain things. So this allows us to dig in. And this is also a podcast. So you could potentially be listening to us in Alaska. Hello. If you're listening to us from New Mexico, hello. So thank you so much.
we actually have a lot of people in England and like Ireland and stuff like that too that listen.
Yeah, I forget to give love to across the pond. Yeah, so thank you guys so much for spending time with us, your American radio stations here. And this station, it's so fun because here we are in Orlando, where in Orlando for the planet, Orlando is one of those destinations where we get people from Brazil, Canada, Japan, from all over, whether they come here to work or they come here to enjoy the festivities of all the entertainment that we have.
The vacation, they holiday over here.
Yeah, or even conventions with the world's largest convention center that we have. And so
I was just talking to someone yesterday whose husband works at the convention center, and she was talking about how crazy busy his schedule is becoming with everything coming back to
I mean, it's
normal
just
here.
like all the concerts that are being announced. Literally every month, there's probably 3 of them between like June and next March.
Yeah.
So behind Melissa, there is well, you can't see it on camera, but there's a calendar that we
I
have.
meant the ACM award. I was going to point.
Oh, shout out.
There's a calendar that for all of 2020, man, that calendar was naked, and now that calendar is starting to get dressed up so fast. So
Michael, in Germany, I'm shouting him out. Good morning.
Nice.
Ayla.
Ashley has family out there.
Yeah, but I promise he's not family. I didn't pay him to be on here today.
Her mom though, maybe she's
Hi,
getting
Mom. Our moms always hop on
dollars here and there.
All right, okay, so some introductions, because Scotty, we want to know a little bit more about you. So not only are you on the air for us here at K92.3 on at night, but you also have the respected position of the morning show producer where you are in Tampa.
Yes, so I do the morning show over in Tampa for the Miguel and Holly show on a station, Hot 101.5 in Tampa, and then I take over for a portion of the day for middays, and then I do nights on K92.3. So it's got a radio all day, every day.
Okay. So if you have a 24-year-old at home, and I'm talking to some of the parents that are watching right now, there's no excuse, right?
Yeah, well,
I mean,
it is crazy, but like I love telling people. It's like for me, it's like I love this, and I don't think I'd be able to do it. And as y'all know as well, it's like you don't do stuff at your fullest if you don't love it. And being able to grind every day and going through it, it's like even when I'm tired, that's what I think of. I'm like, thank goodness I absolutely love this job, because sometimes the hours are just insane to be like, if I didn't love it, I wouldn't be able to keep going at the pace that we do. And so it's just, I'm very thankful, one, for the team, and two, for doing something I'm so passionate about. That's what carries me through, especially because, again, it gets crazy sometimes. It's some long days.
We're going to check in with Scotty in about 10 years. See where it's
No, but Scotty, you're right on the mark that there's a lot of jobs out there that can be done, and if it's done with passion, it's almost not like working. Like I know that everybody says that, oh, if you find something that you love, it's not work at all. But there's still jobs where it's still work. But thank God that you got that inner passion.
Yeah, and then that's, I think you remind yourself of that little root. It's like, because there's definitely things where it's like, not every little thing do I love. Like there's things behind the scenes that we have to do. And it's like, okay, but you remember like those little things, like moments like this where it's connect with people from all over. I mean, even from Germany, like I love that. I love being able to have conversations and just show that it's like our normal lives are the same as your normal life. And I want to bring your normal life to life so you don't feel alone. And that's what kind of charges me through when it's like, I'm talking, I'm tired. I'm like, the listeners, their fam, like they're tired too, and they understand. They go through the same struggles, the same happiness, sadness. That part is so cool, because for so long I had no outlet. I was like, am I alone feeling these things? And then you come here and it's like, wait, no, we're all in the same boat. We're just paddling together. And that's that little thing that kind of remind myself of with those tough moments. But that's the love, the passion.
Scott, you do a great job.
Well, thank you. No, I really appreciate. I mean, I'm just so pumped that I'm finally here, and it's been a little bit now where I'm getting to like really connect and see who like messages me and connecting on the Facebook page, which has been really cool, because I'm like, man, what a cool fam. Like it's so cool.
Well, wait till these shows start coming, because then you're going to be hanging out like actually in person. I don't think we have any of you guys ever met Scott in person, or just via FaceTime?
I don't
Zoom.
I don't think
I'm in person. Yeah, I guess it just feels like in person because there's been so many.
Well, this is what we've been doing for the last year, so this is as close as it gets for a lot of people.
Exactly. Yeah. Literally, I'm just talking to our boss. I was like, okay, when y'all bring me over, like I'm ready. want to check it all out. So,
morning, guys.
Well, cool. Well, good. As we say good morning to everybody, you've got Linda in the chat. Jared Reynolds, good to see you, bro. Amanda, Isla, Kelsey, Zelane. I said that name wrong. Anyways, so thank you for listening to the podcast as well. So on today's show, because Ashley and I did the morning show this morning, one of the topics that came up that I wanted to address with everybody here were pranks. So Ashley here is not a prankster, meaning, you won't see her doing this multiple times a year.
No,
right?
I cannot pull a prank off. So I'm a horrible planner and execution of a prank. So I think I can do it in my head, but then I end up laughing and giving it away.
Oh, we saw.
But this one I actually made happen. And it was one I saw last December. And Melissa and I, we follow all the artists on Instagram and social media pretty closely. So Luke Bryan's wife, she's one for posting pranks during Christmas. They do the 12 days of Pranksmas, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And this was one she reshared, and it had to do with the leak. And I'm like, oh my God, I got to remember that for when I can actually attempt this. I was at the grocery store the other day, and I was in the produce section, and I saw leeks, and I'm like, yes, I finally remembered to buy a leek.
So you have to explain what a leak is, because
I should have brought it in today.
I wouldn't know what to look for.
And I want to point out that you think you're not good at pranks, but you waited in almost half a year to pull the prank off. So that's dedication. Okay. You are good.
But I had to keep my face straight, because I was in the kitchen. He was in his office across the house. And I'm like, babe, there's a leak under the sink. And so the video is on our page. You can watch it after this, but the leek looks like a little palm almost. And then it's got a stem and then palm.
Like an onion.
It's a veggie.
Yeah. It's some type of veggie that I've never cooked because I love cooking.
And she won't, even though she has it, she still won't cook it.
Yeah, I've never even ordered a leek at a restaurant. It's not like you can have steak, potatoes, and a side of leeks.
That's why it works so well, because half the people who are like, wait, there's a leek, the first thing they go to is it's water. It's not a vegetable, because I've never even heard of that.
Mm-hmm. But it was funny because when you watch the video of the prank, you can hear me as soon as he opens the cabinet doors. You can hear me in the background, I was laughing so hard at my own prank that I couldn't stop.
That's the best. That's like people who tell a story and they start laughing before they hit the funny
Yes.
part, and
Like,
you're like,
I was like, I think I was laughing more at myself and found it funny.
He called you a ding dong.
A ding-a-ling.
ding-a-ling, ding-a-ling.
I told Obi we have to talk about that on the show one day, about words that any of you guys might use, because Matt's has some odd words in his vocabulary. Some I call like old school. Like I don't know
Vintage. They're vintage words.
if it's because he's older, certain words, but when he calls me, like he'll say ding-a-ling, or he'll say, I wish I had some of the other words.
So my
I'll write
dad,
them
growing up, my dad used to say, like, if he didn't know what something was called, he'd call it a fluglum or a schlinglum. I don't know what either one of those mean, but I grew up with them, and so every now and then I'll say something, and people will be like, "What the heck are you talking about?" I'm like, "Sorry, it's I guess an inside joke."
No,
Google that
no,
and make sure it's not anything derogatory.
That's true.
Scott, I feel like you would be really good with getting away with pranks because you're just like.
I feel like I do them. Like I'm more of like a scare guy. Like with like I do it with my roommates here, where it's like I just think something's funny, or like I hear them coming home because like my room is right by the front door, so it's like I'll go hide behind the front door and I'll just pop out like and then they'll drop their stuff and everything. I'm like haha, but then they get back at me because I'm very easy to scare. Like I try to act tough and like I'm not, and so anytime there's something that like pops up at me, I freak out. And it causes the whole scene, and then they actually get me better than I ever got them. So I try to get the pranks good, but usually
I am afraid of that.
Yeah.
I mean, Matt said paybacks. We can say it on here because we're not on air, but Matt said payback's a bitch. And I was like, wait, what? Obie and I were laughing about this because I was like, wait, what? No. I just wanted to do one prank. That was it. Like, you don't need to do anything.
I mean, mine are as simple as like just putting a hair tie on the thing on the sink so that when he turns the sink on, it squirts him. Like that's as simple as mine.
Have you done that?
Yeah.
Is he get pissed?
Yeah, he just turns around and like squirt. Like he doesn't even care at that point.
That's true.
But honestly, I get myself back because I forget that it's on there myself, and I turn it on myself.
Nice.
So.
Yeah, I never got into pranks with the wife. I don't know if she. I think she would be able to handle.
It's a slippery slope.
It is.
When you start something and
it is.
Can't.
I'm hoping he forgets. I think he's gonna forget to prank me. I don't think he'll do anything.
Not if we keep talking about it.
That's true.
Nobody tell him. What does Linda say? I do a prank on my mom on Mother's Day and her birthday. I told her I was busy working and I showed up at their house and she was sleeping and I would sneak up on her and say hello. And she was shocked that I was there to do it every year. Aw.
Oh, that's nice.
That's really sweet. I feel like that's a nice prank.
Yeah,
surprise.
That's a surprise, not a prank.
True.
Well, good. All right. Okay. So here, why don't we pivot and let's move on to summer plans.
Summer vacations.
Yeah, we did talk about that, how you're probably watching right now. Linda, I don't know if you had any summer plans. Laura, I don't know if you had any summer plans for 2020 and they got scrapped.
Did you have any trips planned for last summer?
I don't ever go anywhere in the summer.
No?
I choose not to because it's too hot everywhere.
Melissa hates the hot weather.
I don't like to sweat. If I sweat, I'm done. I'm out.
Okay.
So my vacations are usually like October, November, December, January, February, March, like that time frame.
She gets out of Florida when everybody comes.
Yeah. I'm like, let's go up north where it's cool. And then in the summer, I stay inside my house in the AC.
What about you, Scotty? Any summer vacation?
Yeah. I'm trying to do it big this summer, like a lot of people are because they miss so much. I'm doing a little drinking around the world at Epcot for Memorial Day weekend. So,
okay.
Poop. And then I'm trying to go out to Colorado for this summer to go visit my best friend who lives out there. I've never been. It's been talked about for like 2 years now. Like, you got to come out here. I'm like, all right, I'll go do it. Go see all the stuff they have in Colorado. I don't know, mountains, stuff like that. Go on hikes.
Lots of dispensaries.
Yes. I want to, dude.
Tried that once and I couldn't stop laughing the whole time. I was that annoying friend. I never got into it.
I don't ever do this, guys.
Like
it's funny.
Obi had a big vacation scheduled last summer that you guys had to can.
We did. We had a vacation and it was to another country, and we were fortunate enough because everything on the website said that there were no refunds, and we had already, for certain trips, you kind of have to pay ahead of time. You pay a portion. And so we thought that we were going to be out on a couple $1,000s, and that country, because the United States, the numbers of the pandemic, the numbers kept going up. That country called us back and said, here's all your money.
The country
don't come here.
Yeah.
Don't come here. Keep your money and you guys stay where you are. So this year, I think we're trying to plan something, but I spent this week with Ashley on the air getting a bunch of ideas. People telling us about road trips that they took to Maine. Some other guy, some other guy who was telling us to go to and be
Niagara Falls.
Niagara Falls and camp hosts. So apparently you could stay at certain camps for free if you volunteer as a camp host.
Clean up.
Yeah, we got educated a lot on stuff to do this summer. So
well, we were talking about it because a lot of schools, anyone that's not a parent on here doesn't have any kids in school right now. They're out like basically now. They have like 2 days next week, but we all know how that goes.
Yeah.
And summer vacation.
Those are movie days.
Candy. I am the type where I cannot sit still. If we have a day off of work, like a given day off of work, so take Memorial Day, we have Monday off, I will be bitter if I stay home and don't take a trip and go utilize that day off. Like it drives me nuts. My husband knows it. So we booked a last minute trip that we got lucky with because he has a buddy who has a house in Costa Rica. So we literally just had to get the flights there. But if I would have stayed in Orlando from like Friday to Monday with a given day off, like here, to me, that's like, here's a pass for you to go and travel and explore. Yeah. And if I don't do it, I'm like so pissed. Not that I don't love Orlando.
You don't Netflix and chill? You don't ever just take time
she
to
comes
stay
back
home?
to work
Yeah.
and she's like, gosh, I'm so tired.
You still have to turn on. No, we hardly Netflix and chill. But again, we have no kids. It's just
that's because they don't Netflix and chill.
Yeah.
Yeah, Matt's like, we don't. We don't.
I know, he knows now too. If I get her,
I don't think she's getting the jokes.
You know,
that's why I'm tired.
No, that you don't Netflix and chill. So Matt's upset because it's not
Netflix
and chill.
Right.
Hey.
I said that's why you don't have kids because you don't Netflix and chill.
No, that's my choice right now.
Love it. Look, even your mom's asking, you're going to Costa Rica?
I know. We didn't like tell everybody necessarily. It's a little sneak away.
Oh.
But not really. Not like secret.
Well, all right. Okay. Those are summer plans. I want to be respectful of everyone's time. How are we looking?
Good. There was a lot of people. Jared said he wants to go down to Key West, check out the Pirate Treasure Museum. My parents have been there. They said they highly recommend it, Jared. Melissa's mom's on here. She said she's going to see her mom in Kentucky.
Yeah.
Nice.
She hasn't seen her in a while, so.
Aww.
You know, so Jared was talking about going to Key West and doing that Pirate Treasure Museum. We just talked on the air on how we went, and in South Carolina, there was this really cool tour that you could take to find out a lot of history of South Carolina in Charleston. And where we were in Charleston, I did want to learn about that because that was like right on the borderline of where all the slave trading was happening. Blackbeard the pirate like invaded the city multiple times. There was a lot going on in Charleston, and I wanted to learn about it. So we took this horse-drawn carriage ride with a guide. And man, baby Oliver, my 5-month-old, he cried for 30% of the time. So I felt bad for the other couples that paid to be on that trip. I felt bad for the tour guide who had to keep stopping.
Did you pay for the other couples?
Yeah, I feel like we need to bring Scotty and Melissa in on this because if you listen to our show, you've already heard my opinion. There's some no baby zones, and that's not like you cannot bring your baby here. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying there's certain places you should be conscious and think
considerate
about those around you, which Obi didn't.
Oh, yikes.
But is baby Oliver usually like
5 months old? There's no telling. They could cry at any time.
And so we thought it would be okay because it's a horse-drawn carriage, you know, so there's a horse, there's sunlight, it's during the day, there's the sound of street traffic. We thought that was going to be enough to keep them chill. And man, I just felt so bad. And
there was 8 of them.
I had to apologize. I apologized. Like when we ended the tour, I told everybody, I said, hey, thank you guys so much for your patience. I mean, we weren't expecting that, and sorry.
Which is interesting because the 3 of us are non-parents, and Obi was like, yeah, well, how do you feel as a non-parent? Because there are some people out there, like Scotty, you're still really young. Like all my friends have kids. Most of Melissa's friends are either starting to have kids or whatnot. But so I just
think that there's a difference between like if you were aware that other people might be bothered by it and you were apologetic. That's different than just being like, oh, it happens.
Like,
sorry.
Oh, well.
You know what I mean? Like whatever, there's nothing I can do about it. Like at least you knew like that other people might be bothered by it and you went out of your way to be like, I'm sorry, like whatever. Then there's not much that they can do. Things happen.
Yeah, they could have not gone to begin with.
It's true.
Well, that's what Ashley kept saying. She's like, just don't go. I was like, but I want to experience life.
That's what you do. Then you take one kid and you,
Right.
and you guys go, and then you switch, and then somebody else takes Ollie while the rest of the family goes.
Like the nanny.
Was she there?
Yeah.
But she was on the historic ride too. It's not her job.
If you pay to watch your baby, I guess.
Man. Ruthless.
Scotty is still learning. He's like, ooh, what do I say? What's right to say to Obi here?
No, hey, I like where his head's at with it, but it is funny because it's like that's why I see a lot of my friends now having kids, and I'm like, man, like you want to go out to like get some drinks, everything. They're like, oh, I got the kid, and I'm like, all right, you want to go to this adventure? I'm like, can I bring the kid? I'm like, I don't know.
We were gonna have some people over for Memorial Day, and somebody was like, "Can we bring kids?" And I'm like, I mean, when I have kids, maybe.
Yeah.
But right now, I'm having a party that probably is not going to be suitable for children.
Probably not kid friendly. Maybe that
Well,
time.
well, people are nice because they're like, sure, I love kids, and you're like, yeah, but like
then-
I love my kids too, but I also get that they're
Yeah,
annoying.
but my husband made a good point. He's like, are we going to alienate our friends who do have kids by telling them when we have a party that it's not kid friendly? And I was like, no, because I think certain situations we can have people over with kids, no problem.
Yeah.
But when I'm planning a specific type of gathering,
right, like a wine get together.
or
Melissa's planning on getting shit faced.
I mean, I planned it on Memorial Day weekend so that I had Monday to Netflix and chill.
Yeah, by the way, we did notice that, right? One of those days you took off on a Monday, so this way you could really enjoy yourself.
No. Yeah, no. She sent me. She's like, "Are you trying to get drunk at Dan and Shay because you asked for the next day off?" I said, "No, I have a wedding. I promise." Like, I mean, I will have the next day off, and I don't have to be at the wedding till later. But you never know.
Scotty, how do you feel about taking days off? Do you feel like you're still kind of in that zone where you can't?
Well, I mean, I'm sure we're gonna start seeing some emails from me coming up soon. I think it's like, well, I don't want to get in the zone where I don't feel like I could take days off because then I don't
I don't want to tell Scott he can take days off because then we have to cover for him. So I'm just kidding.
It is a balance. It's like that's the weird thing right now. It's like, okay, if I take a day off, like there's so many different holes that need to be filled. I'm like, okay,
Wow.
I don't want to get tricked into that because I'm like, man, I deserve a day off. Too every now and then. So like, if it's really worth it, but luckily, I mean, everybody's so willing to work around it. And now it's like, I think this summer, like I'll probably take a couple days off. I think like the show over here, we're taking like a week off. And so I'll maneuver that with y'all. See what can be filled there.
Yeah.
But it's not too bad. I try to fit as much adventure as I can in like those weekends. Like that's what my whole life has been this past couple of months. I'm like, all right, I got a couple days. Like, let's go do this, even if I have to just leave a little early, not necessarily take a day off, but leave early to go do something.
Yeah.
I fit that in any way I can. But luckily, I will be taking some days off when I get there.
You're originally from closer to here, Vero Beach.
Yes. Oh, yeah. My hometown, Vero. Yeah, I'll actually be there like 2 weekends from now.
Do you know Jake Owen?
What's that?
It was a joke. I said, do you know Jake Owen?
Oh, you know what's funny about like he went to my high school. Like I had teachers that taught Jake Owen as well. Like so, and when Jake Owen was coming up, he was like my first country concert I ever saw in Vero. Like we went to like we called it Dodger Town, little baseball field. Like he played at the high school the year before, and then our Dodger Town. I got to see that when I was like in middle school, just going with a couple friends, and it was just a phenomenal experience. And then he was big there. But then he just blew up. Like, he takes so much pride in Jake Owen over at Vero. It's so fun. It's really cool.
Sure. His parents still live over there, I think, right?
Oh, yeah. They still live over here.
Nice little getaway.
It is. Quite a little place. Yeah.
My headphones keep coming out.
Well, good stuff.
I'm trying not to wear these
thanks.
giant ones in there.
Thanks for sharing. Okay, so at this time, anybody want to do? I think we're going to do a little bit of a wrap up here. Kind of close the show.
Maybe you should tell everybody what we're talking about tomorrow morning on the show.
Yeah. Okay. So here, I'll share with you guys really quickly how interesting this is. You know, so I shared a long time ago before we started the adoption process that I didn't want to adopt, right? Like just because of cultural reasons, I was like, why? Why do people? We just never were showed that. I only saw it on TV. I only saw it in the movies. So with that, now we have baby Oliver. And so now we're 5 months into having baby Oliver. And I mean, he's a blessing beyond belief. I mean, in more ways than I could have ever dreamed. Now, what's interesting that we're going to talk about on the show tomorrow is the kid is fixated on me. So there's a good and bad, right? So I love the popularity, right? I like to feel like the popular parent that he wants to hang out with, that he like when I walk into a room, we're going to have my wife on the air tomorrow because when I walk into a room, if he hears my voice, it doesn't matter who he's with. He will break his neck to find out where I am in the room.
And it's like, and eerie's not the right word, but it's because he said that Obi said him and his wife like didn't experience this with any of their other kids. The way he's fixated on Obi when he's looking at him, like Erica might be trying to change his diaper or trying to calm him down. But if Obi's anywhere around,
he's looking for me.
Wants to be looking for him.
Wow.
But it's probably like, because I know he's only 5 months, so it's probably not at that point yet, but also your wife is the caregiver and the disciplinarian, whereas you're just the caregiver. So it's like at the same time, you have that parental like love that he feels, but also none of the discipline part of it. So you're just kind of like, he's your favorite.
He's not really getting disciplined.
That's what I know. That's what I'm like. It's not at that point yet.
But it is interesting because now it puts a certain amount of pressure because okay, so like we'll get done here. I'll go grab lunch, go grab the kids from school, get home. The nanny has the baby. As soon as that baby hears me, the baby wants me. What do I want to do? I want to take a nap.
Yeah. Yes.
I want to freaking take a nap. I want to finish my lunch and take a nap. And that baby's going to want me. So that's why I say there's twofold. So like it's fun being popular with the baby. And again, I think that's like a good little cool thing happening to me because I prayed about this. I was like, I don't even know if I'm going to bond with this kid. Like, I don't know if I'm going to have this attachment. And not only do I have the attachment, but now I've got this little obsessed baby that really enjoys my company. So
the baby actually likes his father. Weird.
just saying, it's unique. So we'll be talking about that on the air tomorrow about that kid. I love him.
And oh my gosh, wait. Well, we talked about the sun care. I know we're gonna sign off, but the fact that you shared he's 5 months old and he's in 12-month-old clothing.
Oh my gosh, that's like Russell Dickerson's kid.
Yes.
Russell Dickerson's kid's like 6 months old and in like 2-year-old clothes.
Good Lord. Ooh. Whoop, I froze.
Down. Countdown to goodbye.
There you go.
It was good to see you, Scotty.
So thankful. Like, thank y'all for having me.
Yeah. All right, you guys.
We all got lost.
Well, thank you guys for joining us today. And we will see you on the podcast and we'll see you in the morning. Peace.
Bye.
Or you can stay frozen.
Oh, bye, Scott.
Bye. I don't know if I'm frozen. That's fine.
All right. See you guys. All right. Till next time.